What is going on, you guys? Welcome to another sick and lit edition of Wrestle Shade, and I want to welcome you to my Pose recap. Yes, sorry, you guys, all of my wrestling heads. This is not a wrestling reaction and or news and or rant video. This is a video recapping Pose Season 3, Episode 1. I have covered Pose Season 1 and also Season 2 on this channel, and so it just had to be done. I had to cover Season 3, and it is sad, super sad to find out that this is the final season of the show. So I definitely had to cover this, and we're about to get into a small recap, a small shits and giggles of episode 1 of season 3, aired last night at 10 o'clock on FX Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, you guys, I hope everybody was able to tune in. I know that people are probably still catching up. I know some people who are still watching season 2, so no shade, no tea. I don't want this to really be a spoiler, but for those that are watching along and for those that are current, and up to date, definitely hang out with me. But yeah, you guys, so we are set in the era of 1994 for season 3. Mind you, season 1's era was, I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken, it was 1987 through 1988. And season 2 was sort of set in the era of 1990. At least it kind of looked like it to me. Also, too, piggybacking off of some of the songs that they had on the show and some of the songs that were considered to be hits back then, it made me feel like we were in that era. And so we've literally time jumped since the last season and the last era. So we're in 1994, and the title of this episode is called On the Run. We start out with the kids on the side of the street. Everybody's wheeling and dealing. We see a couple of sex workers. We see a couple of drug dealers or whatnot. And they're in front of this club called the Hellfire Club. And I thought it was an actual club until we get inside the space and we see that it's kind of like a red light district, so to speak. It is a sex brothel, I guess you could say, like a bathhouse or a sex house. And we start off the show with this Hellfire Club getting raided, and the place is being shut down because it is believed that the people in this community are spreading the disease, which we're talking about AIDS and HIV here. And so the police come and shut everything down just as Elektra has a god of a date in her room. I mean, like Greek god body. She's, got him suited up, booted up in chains, whipping him down to the ground. And the police come and stop everything. And so the girls are over it. The girls are absolutely over it. The girls' livelihood is being taken away. For some it's their way of making coins. For some it's like their way of life, their way of survival. No shade, no tea. And for others, it's actually a profession. They actually love what they do and they're not ashamed of what they do. Either way, the spread of the disease was getting blamed on certain communities. And I get the aspect of being safe and wanting to monitor, and wanting to decrease numbers in any way possible. But also, too, back then, you also had a lot of groups of people that thought getting HIV was solely through being gay and having sex, and people tend to forget the other scope of things as far as people getting the bug through via dirty needle, honey, with the drugs that they do and in those type of communities as well. But anywho, moving right along to the second scene, I guess you could say, of the show, we have Blanca and Elektra at a ball, walking down the hall, and Blanca is professing that, honey, it's not going to stop her from having sex and or protecting herself while having sex. So there you go, Blanca, honey. I kind of see what she is saying there. But the girl, Lemar. Now, I really did not think Lemar was going to maybe take a change for the worse. But I think that this is great because this does show you what actually happens in the ballroom scene with the girls when they get big-headed, when they blow up, when they start their own houses. I'm glad that they showed this aspect within the show because it just shows you how ballroom can change you in that way. It could possibly bring the inner asshole out of you when you get that position, or you become an actual house father or actual house mother, and you totally bite the hand that feeds you and forget where you come from and just be all types of disrespectful, like we saw here in season 3, episode 1, On the Run. Lemar, new house, Father Khan, honey. He really served Blanca in this scene. We learned that Damon done turned into a drunk. Holy hell, you guys! We done learned that Damon done turned into a drunk. I really was not expecting that. Did not know he was hitting the bottle hard like that. No shade, no tea. I mean, they maybe touched on it in season 2, but hello, I still thought the girls was, trying to become a professional dancer, going on tour, doing this and doing that. But Lemar is father of the House of Khan. Hashtag sloppy bottoms. Hashtag sloppy bottoms. Erica and Blanca were, I think really caught off guard by the way that Lemar was acting, especially with Blanca trying to get in contact with Lemar due to Cubby's illness, and with him being in the hospital. Blanca was trying to hit Lemar up to let him know, hey, you need to go check on your friend, honey. You've been a little shady. He is literally on his deathbed, and but you need to snap it in gear. Like, this, it's no shade. Like, you've been like really, really, really absent. But then Lemar turns it on the girls, letting the girls know that, hey, y'all been absent within the scene while y'all been working and living y'all so-called real lives, honey. We've been here snatching up the coin, and we've been getting thousands of dollars in grand prizes, and it's no longer about trophies. It's now about winning and getting the coin as a house. And, with Lemar saying that the era has changed and, it's no longer, their generation, you really get a sense of that, especially with Regulator and Nate Dogg and Warren G playing in the background. It's just like, oh my God, bitch, they're playing that at a ball. The times have really changed. And so with all of that, Blanca's taking everything in, and her gears get to turning, child. And she is already thinking about battling the House of Khan. And so we get to the scene where we're at the ball, and Blanca is, pretty much letting Lemar know where it's on, honey. We can bring it to. And the girls were talking about Evangelista, and how late they were. And so we get on the ball floor, and we got the cons coming out. We had a really lovely girl walk face. We had some other cons out and showcase their talents. And then last, we had Lemar come out giving New Way and giving Vogue. And it was pretty much given like Pray Tell said on the mic, it was pretty much given, honey, beware of the wrath of Khan, honey. And, for me, I was a part of the ballroom scene, especially on the East Coast. I was a part of the ballroom scene back in the day. Not, of course, not in 94, but, my dear, in the early 2000s, 2005, 2006, 2007, honey, the cons, it was giving that, still in that era. And I'm not going to say that, the girls went around bullying people, but no shade, no tea. It was more or less one of those things like, we family, we got each other's back, and you're not gonna run over us, and we're gonna be dominant. And that's exactly what they were back in the day, and that's what they exuded in this episode, honey. And the cons was rolling up on people and jumping people, and just doing the most. But yeah, especially because too, we find out In the next scene, actually, when the council, Pray Tell, Jack, Castell, and the other member of the council, which I cannot think of his name, it escapes me, you guys, I'm sorry, they were all at the diner counting the coins from the ball and trying to see how they were going to pay the Khans the rest of their money. And before you knew it, it was just like the Khans rolled up, and Lemar, and I have to give shouts out to the Khans, to the individuals that played members of the Khans, because I was like, hold on, honey, Deshaun was just a Wintour, was he not? But I guess those girls disbanded, and Deshaun said, bitch, I'm joining the House of Khan, honey. But anywho, the Khans rolled up at the diner, girlfriends. The Khans rolled up at the diner and demanded their coin. When Jack and Pray Tell told the Khans that they didn't have their coin, honey, they were going to give it to them. Later, Deshaun literally grabs Pray Tell by the collar and slings him across the diner, and there's just a all-out food fight. It was food everywhere. The girls was throwing food left and right. Lemar was jumping across the diner counter. You had Jack under the table with whole cakes and pies being thrown at him. It was an absolute mess, but they turned that scene. It was a really, really great scene. We got Blanca happy in a relationship with Christopher. I do like his swag. I love his style, but I kind of compare him to Stan. Even though he does not have another family, his mother and his father still kind of gives me what Stan and his wife gave in season 1. So I'm ready for something to kind of happen there. We already had the shit hit the fan a little bit tonight between Blanca and the mama, which I'm going to get into a little bit later. But I am expecting something crazy to go down with this, you guys. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be a pessimist and think negatively about him, but it's just something... It's just something in the miss, bitch, okay? But we see that Blanca is happy in her relationship. She is definitely in love. And throughout the episode, we find out that, Christopher is in love with her as well. No shade, no tea. We cut to a scene when we have Angel and Poppy living the fab life. I'm guessing now Poppy is like a manager, exec. He's seeing models, maybe even doing go-sees and doing campaigns himself, while Angel, not doing all that fab. They're living a fab life, don't get me wrong, but Angel personally is not doing all that fab. Hanging out with Lulu now. Hanging out with Lulu. She don't even got it together. She don't know whether she's coming or going. But the thing that really gagged me in this episode was what her and Lulu are partaking in. And I'll get to that later on. But anywho, we got Angel and Poppy looking really, really good. Poppy was snatched from head to toe. He looked really, really good. We could see that Angel did maybe look kind of ashy at the beginning of the show. But as we get, into the show, we can kind of see why she was ashy. Although it brings me to season 2 when her and Poppy were on drugs heavily. I'm guessing over time Poppy got clean and Angel maybe did not get all too clean. But anywho, Pray Tell is a working woman now, no shade, no tea, at the Chanel counter trying to get the girls to buy some perfume and smell good, and everybody just pretty much is looking at him like he's crazy and he's over it, and he's at the counter drinking. I thought it was just him being overworked, but I guess as we move forward into the episode, I kind of got the feeling that Pray Tell is just over life, due to the fact that he has gone to over 1,000 funerals, and he's just like, oh my god, girl, I gotta go to another funeral today. I can't even take it. These girls ain't even buying no perfume from me, honey, and it's just not happening. So it's just like I feel like Pray Tell is kind of over it. He's taking shots and drinks and stuff through a flask at the counter. I hope the girls won't thinking he was drinking the damn perfume, honey. But anyway, we move into the scene where he goes to the funeral and he meets the council at the funeral. And you can just tell Pray Tell can't take it. He's cracking. The girls are, throwing him shade about how he looks and, coming to funerals, drunk and this and this and that. And he pretty much snaps while he's in the funeral, going up to the casket, realizing that this guy in the casket was very, very young, and he had succumbed to HIV. And, the girls was just gagging because they said he just walked Butch Queen body or something like that just last week. And so that kind of just took Praytail over the edge. And he lets the other members of the council know, hey, bitch, I can't take it anymore. I'm done. I'm going home. I'm gonna go home and drink some more. No shade, no tea. And he pretty much walks out the funeral saying that he is done with balls, saying that he's just done giving his energy to this lifestyle, and that he wants something different. And, Jack is like, but girlfriend, it's for the children. It's for the children, pray tell. They need us, girlfriend. We gotta be here. I fucking love Jack, bitch. I fucking love Jack. But yeah, and I just overall too, I don't want to get into a tangent or get into a rant, but I just love the bond of the council, honey. I wish I was a council member, girl. Just get me in for one sneak peek episode, bitch. One bonus episode, honey. Just get me in, sit me at the diner with the council, honey. Period, point blank, boom. But anywho, moving along, Blanca. Can we already deem her Nurse Blanca? Hashtag Nurse Blanc. I don't know, but Blanca is at the hospital taking care of a fellow ballroom member. And honestly, oh my God, looking at this at first, just, I know she said the name Cubby, I'm sorry. And I know she said that it was Lamar's friend, but I just did not put two and two together. And so when I looked, when I looked at that hospital bed and saw Cubby in that bed, I nearly lost it. I was just like, oh my, no, he was everything. Season 1, season 2, he was everything. Oh my God, I really, really just gagged. I couldn't even take it. Fast forward, we learned that, Cubby, is ill, and Blanca is taking care of him, and this is 1994, no shade, no tea. Chubby's in the hospital as he gets a visit from his mother. He's kind of like, iffy about wanting to see her. He said some things, he shared some things, with Blanca that his mother had said back in the day, that kind of still maybe haunted him. And he thought that she was coming there to rub that in his face. And so they kind of had a disconnect. And, Blanca, always being the optimistic one, she was helping Cubby get himself together, getting him his chapstick. He asked her if he still looked beautiful, if he still had it. And it was just a really touching moment. And I love Pose, but I kind of hate how we kind of constantly have these HIV breakdown, AIDS moments where the girls is just leaving left and right. And I know it happened in real life. I know it was something that happened. And I know it's something that, needs to have light shed on. But it was just like, another one of the girls. It was like, oh my God, I just couldn't take it. And I mean, and for me, that's happening to me now in real life. I'm just finding out that there are so many people that, I walked balls with back in 2008, 2009 that like are no longer here. And it's just like, oh my, it's just really, it's heartbreaking. And so Cubby gets a visit from his mother. Like I said, him and his mother went through a hard patch. And you pretty much had his mother come in, apologizing to him, and them having a small talk. And it was really sad too, because for him it kind of showed the progression of the disease, with him becoming blind, and his skin complexion and everything changing. And it was just like we did not expect. I could maybe speak for a lot of the viewers. We probably did not expect to see that scene that fast within the episode. with Cubby. But anyway, it was good to see Nurse Judy. Nurse Judy was still in the building with Blanca, giving her encouragement, telling Blanca that, if you really have that gut feeling of wanting to become a nurse, then you should do it, go back to school. And she was letting her know that, you're in a leading time, honey. It's 1994, and there are not a lot of transgender women who are nurses in the field, honey. You'll be a first. Period, point blank, boom. So she was, giving Blanca some encouragement, no shade, no tea. And we do find out, what decision Blanca made, close to the end of the TV show. I just love the way Blanca is a ride or die for her people. No shade, no tea. Like, you can start to see throughout the episode that Blanca is still the one holding it down, making connections with her people. Whether it be Lemar or Judy or Pray Tell, you can see that she is kind of like a thread, a bona fide thread within the show and between these families. No shade, no tea. Pray Tell and Ricky having relationship problems. No shade, no tea. Pray Tell comes in the house drunk and dry and late. Try to put stuff up on Ricky, talking about nobody knows the way he feel. And we get it, Pray Tell, but it's just like, you can see, kind of hear that Ricky is trying to do his thing for Pray Tell and with Pray Tell, but the drinking is just kind of like putting a wedge in between things, and it's putting a strain on the relationship. So you guys, earlier on within the show, we heard lingering in the background Chris and Blanca bringing up the whole O.J. Simpson thing. And we do know around 1994, the case was really, really big. Okay, the white Bronco, the high-speed police chase. I cannot lie, I do like how they pretty much wanted to give us as the viewers everybody's hindsight and what they thought about the whole trial and the whole case. Whether or not if he did it, I should say, not the case, because the case hadn't really happened yet at that time, but if he had really did it. We had Damon, we had Ricky, we had Blanca, Pray Tell, Electra, Lulu, Poppy, Angel, the whole crew. Everybody expressed their views. Even Nurse Judy had came over to watch for a little bit before she left. And I like how they kind of highlighted everybody's individual opinion about what was going on within the whole O.J. Simpson case. I keep on saying case because, my generation is more so the generation that was able to watch the case and really get into everything, and they just had a remake of the O.J. Simpson trials. So you'll have to excuse me, you guys. I keep on saying case, but the girls definitely had a O.J. watch party. I was gagging to find out that Angel really didn't know who O.J. was. The girls kept on comparing him to orange juice, honey. But yeah, we had Brandy's I Wanna Be Down playing in the background, and we were at Poppy and Angel's house, which they had a fabulous flat, a loft or something, one another. It was really, really giving me early 1990s vibe. We have Angel and Lulu hanging out, and Angel is confessing to Lulu that, girl, I love my job, I love what I do, but I'm not booking any gigs, I'm not going on any go-sees, and they're hiring all these other girls, and I'm getting washed up, I'm getting old, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And Lulu's talking with her, and, they're just having girl chit-chat or whatnot. And the part that gags me in this entirety of this scene is just like, for me, at the beginning of the show, getting into the show, it was like, oh, okay, yes, y'all, that's what's up. It's glad to see everybody. And then when we get to this point, it's like, girl. It's like literally, Lulu literally pulls out a blunt. I'm thinking, okay, the girls are going to smoke a blunt and get creative and maybe do a vision board and write some things down, jot some notes down on what they want to do and maybe do some affirmations, blah, 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 blah. And birch. The next thing I know, Lulu is like, okay, well, girl, you just took that out of my hand and you smoked it, but it's a little something in it. And Angel's like, well, girl, what? And Lulu's like, well, it's called a willy. And I was just like, a willy? I know. In my day and still today, I'm guessing, I know some people call it like a stoogie or like a coolie or something like that. And that is when you mix a little bit of the cannabis marijuana with a little bit of white girl crack cocaine. Rick James said it's a hell of a drug. No shade, no tea. And everybody saw those puffs that Angel took. The first couple of puffs that Angel took, she went overboard on those puffs, honey. She did like 5-6 puffs back to back, like Drake. And Lulu was like, well, girl, all the girls are doing it, it keeps me snatched. And it keeps me off edge and whatever. Like, it helps me do this, it helps me do that. And Angel's like, okay, well, girl, you should have told me what was in it before you had me smoking. And next thing you know, Angel was like, okay, well, let me hit it again. And it was just like, child, you could tell that she's already #hooked. Okay? Damon, we see that he has come, I guess, face to face with sobriety, getting off of alcohol, as he tries to talk with Praytel about his drinking. We have a scene where everybody's at the house at the watch party, looking at the whole O.J. Simpson trial. This is before Lulu and Angel get there. I guess Damien has turned into like a Buddhist, or he's studying monk-isms, and he's becoming more spiritually intact, more spiritually in tune, conscious, aware, whatever you want to call it. And so we kind of see that Damon is in a different headspace. But why is he in a different headspace? And it kind of takes me back to what Lemar said, and also to some of the things that he was struggling with in season 2, in regards to his sexuality and school and dance. And I was just thinking that it was maybe going to come a point in time where he could maybe reunite with his mom and dad, or just express his concerns to them, or express his true feelings to them. Maybe it will happen sometime later on within the season. But Praytel is just not here for it. Praytel is drunk at the O.J. Simpson watch party, child, and everybody's letting him know that he is just looking a fool. Even Elektra is walking the dogs on him, letting him know that he needs to get it together. And we have Lulu and Angel arrive, and this is the part that just gags me, because I don't know, for me, throughout the entirety of this episode, what stuck out to me was Lulu and Angel. Bitch. Lulu and Angel took me out this episode. But anywho, we had Lulu and Angel finally show up to the house. Nurse Judy was leaving. And they pretty much told Praytel to come and smoke with them, because, the viewing party was a drag. Everybody was arguing about their thoughts and opinions and whatnot. And they went into the room and they started to smoke. And Lulu was like, oh, well, just so you know, it's a little something in it. And I think it was... Well, yeah, it was either Lulu or Angel who said, well, yes, honey, it's crack in it. Just don't worry about it. Just smoke it. And Praytel was like, no thanks, girls. I'll pass on this one. Like, I don't need nothing else, worse than what I'm doing already. And I feel Praytel on that. Like, honey, I've just heard of instances where that has happened to people, where people let people smoke stuff and didn't tell them it was laced. And also, too, I think, if I'm not mistaken, DMX had just expressed his story like that, before him passing, how, somebody that was one of his mentors, somebody he looked up to, actually laced something that he smoked. And so, it's just, I don't know, it hits home all the way around when you look at certain scenarios like this. And so everybody's at the house of Evangelista, you know what I'm saying? The girls are smoking, doing their thing. Blanca catches them. She asks them what they're smoking. And Angel lies and says it's just a cigarette. Lord Chow. Elektra arrives, and they're having a family dinner because Blanca gets mad, turn the TV off after everybody can't, keep their wits about them within the whole O.J. Simpson news break, so to speak. And so Blanca brings up the House of Khan, and everybody is talking about, just how fab they think they are, and how they're kind of like bullies on the low, and how they've just been terrorizing the ballroom scene. And Blanca has come up with the bright idea of challenging the house at the summer solstice ball, and it will be the comeback of the evangelistas. It'll be the comeback of the evangelistas. And also, too, just piggybacking, or just maybe going back a little bit within the beginning of the episode, you did have Praytel being a little shady on the mic when the House members of Khan came out, and he was kind of giving you compare and contrast with some of the House members, and he was like, "Oh, bitch, we haven't seen a face that gorgeous, or we haven't seen a face that looked that good since Angel Evangelista." And, you know, he was just being shady also, too, kind of just, like, reinforcing the fact to us as the viewers that, okay, bitch, you know, a long time has gone past and the girls have been focusing on other things and they have not been competing, and the girls are kind of old and washed up. And you even hear Blanca ask the crew, like, come on, y'all, don't y'all want to become legends? Don't y'all want to be legendary? And it's just like, oh God, like almost 10 years, maybe 8 to 10 years have went past. And, you know, the girls have still been going to balls, but they just maybe have not been all that active. Blanca is planning the comeback of the evangelistas, and everyone is seeming to be in, along so with Electra also, you know, telling everybody that she gonna whip their asses into shape and she gonna get them ready for this ball. And if they lose even if the first category is lost, she's done, honey. And so, yeah, we have Blanca and her boo in the next scene here. He wants Blanca to meet his parents, and this is really, really big for her. She is really, really apprehensive to meet his parents. One, I'm guessing about maybe clocking her tea, or maybe Blanca doesn't know if if Christopher has told his parents that, you know, she is a trans woman. She talks to him about her going back to school, and he is actually on board with it. Like, this is like, oh man, here he is, like, really, like, willing to help her. Mind you, he's already a doctor any damn way. Doctor, his father is like some type of psychiatrist and or some type of head figure within the medical and or mental health field. And so it's just like, he's bred for this. You know, he said he's going to help her. She wants to become a nurse. He would know a little something about that. And so, yeah, I really like their connection. But like I said, you guys, earlier, I just think it's something up with his character. And so Blanca is getting ready for the mother daddy boyfriend date, if you will, and she gets a call about Cubby, and that's when the episode just changed again. The episode shifted gears again, because we are in this space where Blanca is maybe already kind of like nervous and already kind of feeling pressured, and like maybe not wanting to even go on this dinner date to meet Christopher's parents. But then too, out of nowhere, she gets a call about Cubby, and he maybe not even making it through the night. And so this was like a really emotional scene. We have everybody rush to the hospital to, you know, see Cubby and share their last moments with him, and, you know, along with his mom, she's there, and we have Electra at the other side of the bed, which I thought was interesting. It showed you the aspect of the two mothers, the excuse me. It showed you the aspect of the two mothers, the LGBTQ mama and the biological DNA mama. And so it gave you the aspect of, you know, the biological mom saying, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm here at your bedside now. Please forgive me. You know, I wish I would have seen things different. And she's thanking Electra, you know, and her house and the ballroom community, no shade to a certain degree, of taking care of, you know, her son. And, you know, Electra is also too consoling the mom, telling her that, you know, back then we didn't know, the mindset was different. You did all you could do. You raised them the best way you knew how. You know, you can't blame yourself because, you know, back then as parents, we just did not know. We were somewhat maybe uneducated, but then again, a lot of parents back in that day and age also too cared about their image more than anything else. It really probably didn't have shit to do with church or Bible or nothing. They cared about what other people were going to say about them. And so it was kind of really sad to see that whole moment, but everybody's looking around trying to find out, honey, where the hell is Lemar, honey? He was supposed to be this girl's best friend. And they were thick as thieves, back in season 1 and season 2, and you get to season 3, and it's like, Lemar has had this whole 360, and once again, I say this is what the ballroom scene can do to some people, girl. Put them on a high horse before they even know how to ride a horse, before they even know how to mount on a horse. The girls are already on their high horse. But as usual, I don't want to say as usual. Look at me. I'm acting like I'm in the storyline like I know him personally. But anyway, Lemar came late. He did not get to share those very last moments with his friend. No shade, no tea. He had already passed away by the time he got there. Thomas, he had a photo shoot. In that get up that he had wore to the hospital. I was just like, girl, goodbye and good riddance. But you could tell that it hit him because Pray Tell, just let it out that, he's gone. He's already passed away. While you trying to be fab and trying to serve us, honey, your best friend has just passed away and you weren't even here. Burn. I know that had to sting. He was crying alongside Cubby's bed. Wait, did I say? Okay, Lemar got to the hospital late. If I didn't say that before, I'm sorry. And he was crying alongside Cubby's bed. But before that, when Pray Tell got into it with him, we had, once again, bright-eyed dear Blanca come up with the idea of challenging the House of Khan at the Solstice Ball. Well, we already knew she was thinking it, but this time, at the hospital, at the heat of the moment, she came out with it. Because we also, too, had Elektra kind of reinforce that whole thing by saying, you know what, bitch? You want to act shady towards us, honey. You think you all that. You think you fab, honey. We're not going to fight you in the hospital. We're not going to drag you down these hospital floors. We're going to handle it like Cubby would have wanted us to handle it. We're going to do it on the ballroom floor, honey. And so there we have it. I mean, here you have this, challenge issued. The House of Evangelista versus the House of Khan. And so the girls are going to do all of this in Cubby's honor. Period, point blank, boom. So, darlings, we're at the ball, and we have RuPaul's Supermodel playing in the background. Still kind of to reinforce to us, like, what was hot during that time, letting us know that, we're still in 1994 underground ballroom scene. It was great to see Jack on the mic. We had the battle between the House of Evangelista and the House of Khan. The dark-skinned girl and the light-skinned girl, I do not know their names. I can't remember if they had their names said on the show. But they ate it for the House of Khan. Of course, you had Lemar come out. But, as always, the House of Evangelista, they served. Angel was looking good. Ricky did his thing on the voguing dance floor. Then Damien came out. Everybody gagged. The Evangelistas won, and Blanca, of course, she got on the mic and she congratulated everybody just for still surviving, and she wanted to give that win to Cubby because they wanted to donate the cash prize in honor of him. Showing that, this is what he would have wanted for the ballroom scene, for them to bring it to the floor. So yeah, that was really sweet. That was really touching. That's even done, a lot of times that's done now here today in the ballroom scene where we've lost so many people along the way. And if like one of the it girls wins the category, she'll donate the money to the family, or she'll donate the money to the house of the person that they lost. And so I thought it was pretty cool to see. They kind of ended the show at I guess it's the famous Chinese restaurant, ain't it, you guys? If I'm not mistaken, they have met at this Chinese restaurant several times and ate at this Chinese restaurant. So we end the show at the famous Chinese restaurant with the House Evangelista celebrating and eating. And we have Christopher, Blanca's new boo, show up, and everybody gags, especially Miss Elektra. If you see her face when y'all watch the episode, she definitely gag back Betty. And we kind of end this episode with everybody in good celebration, and we get a glance of Blanca walking to the Manhattan Technical College, the Manhattan Technical Institute, honey. As she is done in her snakeskin boots, serving, walking through the front door, and getting an application to fill out. And she filled it out right there on the spot. So it kind of, is leading into Blanca actually becoming a nurse and getting things together. And she already has her boo on board with helping her. And so I'm excited. And I'm happy for what is possibly to come for Mrs. Blanca. So we kind of wrap things up episode 1 with us as viewers getting introduced back into the flow of the ballroom scene. We're kind of catching up with all the characters, like in the beginning, Elektra and her sex work. We kind of catch up with Lulu. The girls are not in college. Actually, her and Angel are kind of besties now, and they're walking balls together, and they're kind of doing drugs together as well. We fast forward to Ricky and Pray Tell. They're having relationship problems. Ricky is trying to be the home wife, the do-gooder. And we got Pray Tell is drunk at every funeral and every meeting and every get-together he's at. We speed up with Damien a little bit. It's a little bit foggy for Damien right now. We find out that he becomes a drunk. I really thought that he was just geared into school and getting himself together with dancing, and Advantali and, all of these other big names and, doing the whole Janet Jackson and all that. I thought he was getting maybe callbacks and stuff just like Ricky was. But two, we also get a glimpse of some of the other members of the ballroom scene from season 1 and season 2. Like I said, we kind of had that big shock with Cubby and, with Lemar being on his high horse because he's now the father of the House of Khan. And so we kind of got that glance of the council as well to see where they are in 1994 present day. We saw Jack, we saw other members of the council, we saw Deshawn, we saw that he moved on to a different house, separated himself from Wintour. And so I thought this was pretty cool. Let's not forget Poppy. He is just like literally changed. He's done a complete 360. He, to me, is doing the best on the show. He's gotten himself together, not on drugs. He's trying to be faithful to Angel. He's got a career, got a badass apartment or place or loft or whatever you want to call it. And he is got it together. And so I'm thanking this, everybody. I hope I didn't forget nobody. But yeah, you guys, if you just want to add anything to the conversation, or if you have any funny moments or any shocking moments that kind of made you gag during the show, definitely don't forget to like and leave that in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the episode. Also, too, don't forget to hit that bell notification. The bell notification icon will notify you on when I upload more content. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Be on the lookout for season 3, episode 2 recap. And if you are a wrestling head, or if you just like my commentary and you're here for the shits and giggles, be sure to check out some of my other wrestling reaction and commentary videos. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next one.